Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Rolling Conversations this afternoon. And this is our last one for a little while. We've had a great deal of fun with Rolling Conversations. We've had some wonderful, we've met some wonderful people along the way, and we're really grateful for everyone watching on and participating. But we're back rolling with sport again, and there's other things that we're doing. We may come back to Rolling Conversations at some stage, but for the moment, we have just these guys. So I reckon this afternoon's going to get a bit loose, to be honest. This will be a bit of fun. We have multi-Paralympians, Angie Ballard and Jake Lappin, and future Paralympian Victoria Simpson. So welcome, guys.
Thank you.
And we just figured out that although Angie and Jake were looking fine in the screen, once we went to the split screen, things have got a bit weird. So if you just tilt your heads in, that'd be great. There you go. Lovely. Hey, no, it's really great to have you guys. You're all wheelchair track and road racers, and so today's Rolling Conversation is really a special. It's about the GIO Ausday 10K, this wonderful event that we have had running in Sydney now for 31 years, and we're going to go into its 32nd year in 2021 in January, and so we want to talk about that. But before we do, just want to understand for those watching online, and welcome to everyone. Tell us a little bit about your sport and your classification. And I might start, Victoria, with you, because as well as being a wheelchair track and road racer, you're also a wheelchair basketballer. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's really fun, wheelchair basketball and racing. I'm a T55, I think. 54 and
53.
53,
And you're
and a 1.5 in basketball. So yeah.
Okay. And if I put you on the spot, which one do you prefer?
It's really hard. I like them both the exact same. Like, I don't, for different reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, good answer. It's like choosing between your kids. It's impossible. I get it.
It's not that impossible.
Oh, okay, good. Sure. Great.
Yep.
Angie and Jake, same question for you guys. Again, you both need very little introduction, given how much you've achieved in the sport, and you are both much loved members and much admired members of our community. But for those watching on who may not know your story, starting with you, Angie, tell us about your classification and your expertise.
I'm a T53 wheelchair racer, and mostly sprints to middle distance. Been doing it a really long time. I actually started with wheelchair sports back in, wheelchair racing, 1994. So a little while now.
Yeah, wow. And what's your pet distance then? If you had to pick absolutely one race, what is it?
For the first 10 years, it was whichever I was fastest at. And now it's probably more, I really enjoy the 400 when it's going well. It's a horrible but fantastic race when you do it well.
Yeah, cool. Hey, we want to say hello to Roosters watching online. They're from Bathurst. So he says, g'day to Jake, Angie and Tori. We straight back at you, Rooster. In fact, we were talking about you before we came on air. Jake, same question to you, mate. As I say, you're a superstar of the sport. For those who haven't seen you at your best, tell us about your career in wheelchair racing, specifically perhaps what your favourite distance is as well.
Yeah, I'm a T54 athlete, which means, trunk function. I compete in the middle distance to long distance sometimes, and my favourite event would be the 1500 for sure.
Yeah, right. Okay. And we also mentioned, and you mentioned to Ali, I think, which you're now regretting, telling us that you actually play a bit of guitar as well. So as well as being a superstar on the track, you also play a bit of music. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I started off playing bass when I was about 13, and then when I moved to Canberra a couple of years ago, just playing bass on your own got a little bit boring without a band. So I started playing a bit more guitar, and now I'm just as average at both. So that's fun.
Yeah, right. And do you play live, mate, or are you playing at home? What are you doing with it?
Oh no, just on my own, and if I can catch it with some friends, at in Melbourne when I can. We just play some stuff, but yeah, nothing serious.
Yeah, cool. Well, we also discovered that Victoria is musically inclined as well. In fact, Victoria, you're starring in a musical in Parks in September. Am I right?
Yes, you are right.
Right. Well, if you're in the Parks area in September, go and check it out. Let's talk more about the wheelchair racing. Then I'm interested. Our community at Wheelchair Sports New South Wales often you hear this story time and time again that there was one person in particular that introduced people to wheelchair sport. I wonder if I can start with you, Victoria. What was your introduction? How did you become aware of this thing called wheelchair sport?
Well, when I was little,
we sort of found out through Northcott, our OTs and stuff like that. We tried to look around. We'd ask a lot of people, and I think it was Ange and Louise. We heard their names. They were going to be doing it at the track at Homebush. She used to play tennis, but not when she was littler, just for fitness. But then we went there. She must have been, maybe year one when we lived in Sydney, and we used to go and do the Saturdays, but then we moved back to Parks. So we couldn't get to them quite as often as we could. So that was sort of our first introduction to actual wheelchair sports, in going with actual people with an actual disability. I hate that word. I apologise. Because we were doing a lot of stuff by ourselves. So like doing the swimming, the tennis and things like that, just trying to find out as much information. I think we went one time to the Kevin Betts and watched them play the rugby in the power wheelchairs, and we're like, I think she might be a little bit tiny just yet for that. So We've just tried to get as much information when she was younger, when we moved to Sydney from Parks, to try and give her a better opportunity. And that was the wheelchair racing with Louise was our first. Like, I think Cormac was little and Brad was there. He was maybe 14 or 15 or maybe younger. It was a while ago.
So for those who are wondering where that voice is coming from, Victoria, that's your mum, is it? Deanne, chuck your head in shot so we can see you. Where are you?
Sorry.
Hey, there we go. That's all right. Hopefully that's not the last special guest we get tonight. We want to see some randoms in the back walking past. And there is a cat somewhere. I won't tell you where it is, but there's a cat somewhere in the vicinity as well, which we might get an appearance from later. Let's wait and see. Angie and Jake, did you have someone in particular that was particularly influential in getting you involved in wheelchair sport? Starting with you, Angie.
I was fortunate. There was quite a lot of people, but I think the two biggest things were the Christmas camps for me. I actually, when I had my car accident, I was in hospital for a while with Christy Dawes and another chica, Joanna, and they found out about the Christmas camp and said, like, I needed to go, and so that was awesome. And then in 1994, Wheelchair Sports used to have this 24-hour like lap thing at I can't remember where it was, but in Sydney. And my parents thought that was a grand idea, and I think Jerry Hewson and Holly Ladmore did laps with me in I think Lisa O'Neill or someone's old race chair, which was like crazy, and did that typical thing that you do when you first try sport. You just go super hard, and then the next day I couldn't move and had blisters everywhere, but I loved it, so it was good. You were hooked. So that was kind of my start, yeah.
Yeah, great. Jake, what about you, mate? Was there someone particularly influential in getting you involved?
Similar to what Ange said, there's a lot of people. Like most sort of wheelchair sports, you start in basketball because it's accessible, and then someone says, you're fast, but that's about it. So you're handballed off to to athletics. I think Richard Colburn got me into a chair, and then Paul Angel, my first coach, got me, from someone who couldn't, stay in a lane to someone who can push properly and train properly and race properly. And then I moved to Canberra and started working with Fred, and we took got the next step and got quicker. And also, obviously, just Kurt as well, to be able to race and push with him is it's been great.
Yeah. And now you're a superstar of the sport. Hey, we've got Julie saying you are all amazing athletes, wishing you all the best. So a shout out to Julie as well, watching on there. I'm interested, before we get on and talk about the GIO Ausday 10K, this wonderful event each year, I'm interested in who your sporting heroes are. So again, I'm going to start with you, Victoria. Who do you admire sporting-wise? Who are your heroes?
Well, probably Louise. Who else? Maddie.
Yeah.
Liza. Kurt. Angie. All that stuff. All of them. They're all
Right.
amazing. So yeah.
What about Jake? He goes all right too.
Oh, and Jake.
Yeah.
Well, what about Sam?
Oh yeah, Sam.
Rizzo, you always would
Rizzo.
cheer for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Really,
good, 'cause
everyone.
he's watching on, so we better mention him. In fact, I might just list the people who are watching on and we could go through and say all of them. That'd be great. We do have our patron, Louise Savage, watching on. In fact, she's got a message there to say that was called the Push-a-thon, Angie, that you would have done back in the day, which I think Richard Korjiks might have started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
there you
sure.
go. There you go. All right, Angie, you're next. Heroes, sporting heroes. What do you got?
I don't know. I don't know that I have particular heroes, but there's a lot of people in the sport that I sort of look to as mentors, and I definitely admire their training ethic or how they come back from like a setback and things like that. So there's, quite a lot of those people. When I was younger, my first coach told me that Louise Savage was like getting a second quicker every week. And I was like, who is this superstar? Who the hell does that? And I finally learned that people don't break PBs every week. But so for a while, she was a god in my eyes. So, yeah.
Nice. Jake, I mean, no one's mentioned the Parramatta Eels yet. If you want to start, you just let me know in terms of anyone being heroes. Although coming from Melbourne originally, maybe you're an AFL man. Let's start there. Are you an AFL man?
Yeah, I follow Hawthorn.
Okay. Well, you've had a pretty good run of things in the last few years.
Yes.
Who are your heroes, though, mate? Who do you admire from a sporting point of view?
I'm sure you've had this answer a couple of times, but just Kurt again. I think being able to train at his place, a couple of times when I was younger and race with him, it's just sort of just taught me what the standard was and what it took to not only to just be half decent at the sport took a lot. So just learning that when I was 16, 17 was set me up for a goodish career as I got a bit older. So yeah, have to be Kurt for sure.
Yeah, cool. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not a great researcher, and most of my stuff comes from Wikipedia, so bear with me, but I reckon, Jake, you beat Kurt at the GIO Ausday 10K last year. True or false?
I think so. I don't know if he was in the best shape that year, but yeah, I might have just tipped him.
So it must be a moment, though, right? Like, beating your hero in his sport. That must be a big moment for you.
Yeah, I think I might have just beaten him once at at the Summer Down Under series, one of the 1500s we had. I think when he was, pushing pretty well and stuff, I kind of got him then. So that was kind of felt a bit bizarre, to be honest, because it takes a long time and he's kind of a bit of a titan. So yeah, it's definitely a moment.
Yeah, cool. Hey, we've got Ethan Moose looking on as well. So g'day to Ethan. Victoria, back to you. And we are going to talk about the GIO Ausday 10K now. Tell us about your experience of the race. I think you've done it twice. Tell me if I'm right. And also, did you know about the race prior, and what was your experience like, if you did, then to actually compete yourself?
I did.
We did
know about it before, but we had we went water skiing.
Oh.
So yeah, didn't get to go
Okay.
previous years.
Yeah.
And then we went last year, which was amazing and so much fun. And yes. Yeah.
And what did you think of the race, having done it now twice yourself? Is it? I mean, it looks tough from the outside. Is it as tough as it looks?
Yeah.
Nah, easy.
Nah. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you want to make it the GIO Ausday 20K then?
Yep.
No.
Oh, okay. So not that easy.
No.
You went really well, though, in 2020, so January this year. That must have been a
Yes.
thrill to get a really good result out of the race.
Yeah. Yes, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Very surprised.
Yes. Very, very, very surprised.
Well, we loved watching you. I was standing next to the governor, and she wanted to know who this super fast girl was. So you're on the radar of the New South Wales governor, which is pretty cool, I reckon.
Yeah.
Angie, again, in my extensive Denton-like research, you would be probably close to the person who's done the most GIO Ausday 10Ks. True or false?
I probably who's still pushing, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, I think like Christy she's definitely got quite a lot. Kurt, Lou did heaps. But yeah, probably who's still pushing. But yeah.
And what's your experience of the race been like? You've been doing it for so many years. I imagine you've seen the race change, have you over time? I mean, I don't know, were you at the original one in Centennial Park? We're going back a fair way. You probably wouldn't have been.
No, I hadn't even started pushing then. But I remember the 10-year anniversary, and I think I'd been doing it for a couple of times since then. But I always, like, when we started on, is it Alfred Street? Yeah, I mean, I loved it. Like, really scared me because I was little. But just getting to watch all these people race and how good they were at what they did, and all these different characters, and that was really cool. And sort of over the years, kind of noticing how more and more I became a part of that community and how I got better at what I did. Not always the best at 10Ks, but I do enjoy the community.
It is a wonderful day. In fact, I believe that the founders of the race, the original strapline for the race was that young people with disabilities need heroes too. And so it is one of those very rare events where it's an elite event, but in fact the juniors and the seniors compete alongside each other. And, you know, across so many other sports, it'd be rare to find a situation where, you know, a young Jake Lappin is taking on his hero, Kurt Fernley, in that circumstance.
Yeah, and it's so important because we are sort of a little bit isolated in our development and our pathway as we go up. And that moment of being able to at least once a year kind of get a look at not only what is your next step, but what's the step after that, and be able to talk to those people and learn from them. Like, I remember when I was like 16, 17, I just used to sit on the buses when we were going out to races and just listen to everything that they were saying. And I probably didn't understand half of it, but I was trying to like soak it all up so I could go back and apply it to what I was doing at home. And yeah, I think that's one of the things I believe in the most, is just the privilege of when I was younger, getting people who are titans in our sport mentoring me and giving me opportunities and guidance. And I love this race for being able to create a structure, but also a celebration of that process and that continuance for so long. Like, yeah, I was a junior, now I'm a senior, and I can't wait for our juniors to keep passing the baton on.
Yeah. Well, that's right. We'll all be watching now in 2021 to see if Victoria can chase you down, Angie. We've got a little, you know, head-to-head challenge going on here, which will be fun. What do you reckon, Victoria? You chase Angie down next year?
I doubt it. She's too fast.
Yeah.
Nah,
well,
give it a go. We'll get you some nice wheels and see how you go.
Nice. Hey, Jack, what about you, mate? It is an amazing event, and we want as many people on Australia Day to come down and experience this race as possible. Have you got a particular memory you could share of the race? You've done it a stack of times too.
Yeah, probably the only memory I can think of the race is it took me maybe 5 or 6 years to just of doing the race to just kind of get the road skills and the chair skills to be able to do it well, because it's quite technical. But I think I can't remember what year, maybe 2017 or 18. But I raced wellish and came third. So that was a big improvement for me in my road racing career. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, great. And we've had the international athletes have really dominated. Tomoki from Japan over the last few years has just been almost unstoppable. Jake, have you got him in your sights? Can you imagine yourself winning the GIO Ausday 10K one day?
Yeah, like I said before, just because it's such a technical course, if you can just get those corners right and not lose too much speed on the super fast downhills, or hold your line properly in the uphills, it all should come together one day, and I can maybe get him. But yeah, we'll see how that goes.
But like Angie, you've got a bunch of juniors that'll be snapping at your heels in the not too distant future. We've got such a rich group of young men as well as young women, with Victoria and others, and Bridie and all the rest of it. But similarly with Cormac and with Ethan and with the Rooster, and many others. That must be cool to see that the next generation of wheelchair track and road racers is coming right behind you.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's over the last few years, it's really cool, seeing a little junior go from pushing like a potato with arms to like a fully grown man that can, if I miss time a race, they can go right past me. So it's really cool to see him progress and get better.
Yeah, I mean, Kurt Fernley often speaks about the idea that in Paralympic sport, it's about training the next person to beat you. That's, it's a really interesting idea. Have you had that experience where, you see others in your sport where really it is about passing the baton on and bringing other people along and up with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Sam Rizzo at the moment, you can just, every time we train or do a race, he's just getting better and better. And the thing he wasn't too good at last time is, slowly getting better at that. So, as soon as he, gets these things together and gets some good sessions together, he's got a good chance of going past me. So yeah, it's it's mixed feels to see at the moment, but it's good overall.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hey, we had a message there from Elizabeth just saying, as a spectator, it's my favourite race of the year, the best atmosphere, and it really is. It was a wonderful day this year again, and we had some real high moments. As I say, I stood next to Her Excellency the Governor, who watched the whole race with me and was just loving watching you all do your stuff. So we'll, of course, have her back again in January 2021. So we've got I think we've got a question there, do we? From Sarah Stewart. Hey, Angie, Jake and Victoria. Awesome to see you all on here. What's your favourite thing about the Ausday 10K or the Summer Down Under, particularly off the track? So let's focus about that. Starting with you, Victoria, the GIO Summer Down Under series is a week, both a few days track meet in Canberra, and then we come up to Sydney for traditionally an event at Blacktown, and then on Australia Day. Anything fun off the track? Anything? Do you want to sort of send Mum into the next room so you can talk about it more openly, or you tell me?
I just love just connecting with all the other athletes and just making friends and just learning from all the older athletes. So yeah.
I imagine, Victoria, coming from Parks where you are tonight, it must be great, that sense of camaraderie that is achieved when everyone's, competing and training together. More than anyone, I suppose, you must really miss that if you're training largely on your own there in Parks.
Yeah, I do. I won't miss it. Yeah.
I mean, you got the Rooster up the road there at Bathurst. You could probably get up there, and I say up the road, it's probably 100 kilometres. Is it? How far is it to Bathurst?
145.
Yep, 145 kilometres, so yeah.
Maybe we should get you to do a roll between Bathurst and Parks, and we'll do it as a fundraiser. And no?
Yep.
Might be.
You want to do it?
You'd have to block the towns.
Call me. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
What about off the track for you, Angie? Obviously, you're a much-loved, huge member of our community over many, many years, from very young now to where you are as such an accomplished Paralympian. Any good stories off the track? Certainly those that can be shared online.
Yeah, I think it's just the people. I wasn't able to come up this year, but last year for the anniversary, I'm blanking. Heinz Fry came out, who's like this god of our sport, he has achieved so much and he's so tenacious, and he actually mentored me way back so long ago, and I remember probably not being able to say boo because I was so shy, but coming back and being able to sort of say thank you and that it meant a lot. And he wouldn't have known at that point that that was going to lead to any Paralympic Games or anything. He just gave his time and insight just to help out. And so I think that was a pretty cool moment last year, but also just being part of the mentoring and stuff, I think it's really cool. I love seeing everyone grow up and get better at what they do.
It is awesome. Hey, we've got, so the Roosters in, Victoria. So anyway, we'll be talking in the next couple of days about making this happen. This will be awesome.
Totally.
Yes. We'll need a funky name. So those of us who might be any good at marketing, we need a cool name for the role between Bathurst and Parkes, but we'll work on that. Jake, same for you, mate. I know that the guys in our office at Wheelchair Sports, David and Pat and Todd and Joe, had a few beers with you during the Summer Down Under series this year and said you were great value after a couple of cans. But tell us about your experience of that same idea that Angie's talking about, which is the stuff that Sarah's asking about here, you know, the camaraderie and the sense of community in and around the competition.
It's off the track. It's good to just catch up with those friends that I made at this comp over 10 years ago now. So it's always good to catch up with them. And it's also good to but meet someone new and get to know them better. Like we were in the same apartment as Corey Crumby this year. So it was, it's good to get to know him a little bit better and just, you know, make a new friendship with someone new. And obviously, as you mentioned before, getting on the Terps afterwards is pretty fun too.
Indeed. Hey, so we've got a message there from Heather Green. Awesome work, Victoria, putting Parkes on the map. So we've seen you on the front page of the local Parkes newspaper in your blue shirt with your GIO on your arm and representing, which is very cool. In fact, Victoria, you might have been, and you can help me with the exact name. Were you the Parkes Junior Athlete of the Year, something along those lines?
Sports person.
Nice. Get a little trophy?
Yeah, the big one.
Big one. We should have done that for show and tell. Mum, can you go and get the trophy?
Yeah, I can, I think. Unless
Beauty.
my mama is
It's in my
stolen
room.
it.
It's in my room. It's in my room.
Go on, dear, and go get the trophy. We haven't got anything from you, Angie or Jake, for show and tell, have we? I mean, you had a plant in the background. That's possibly not going to cut it. No.
Probably not. Sorry.
That's all right. We've only got a couple of minutes to go. We've got Janelle Gilbert, loving the live stream yard today. The passion and enjoyment you all have for your chosen sport is great. So g'day to Janelle, and we've only got a couple of minutes to go now. Have we found the trophy or what's going on there? Oh, crikey.
Where's the front?
That's a
Yeah.
beauty.
Yeah.
Look at that.
You gotta
Okay.
go down.
Can you put jelly
There it
beans
is.
in it?
Looks like the Melbourne Cup.
She drinks out of it, you know, when she's thirsty.
Oh, good.
Awesome.
Okay.
Her
Yeah,
chalice.
nice. No, that's very cool. And do you remember your speech? Do you want to replay that or no, not so much?
I wasn't there. I was busy winning first for the 10K. So my brother received it for me.
Nice.
Oh,
I
nice.
think you're going to say you were water skiing again. How are those brothers? They haven't done a run by yet. You promised they might, you've suggested they might be doing cameos. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got a minute to
TikToking
go.
in the window.
Gotcha. We've only got a minute to go, guys. We're going to wrap up in a second, but I just wanted to do one more whip round and see how you're training, how you're feeling at the moment. Are you fit? And just to check in from a mental health point of view as well. Victoria, we've got 6 months or so until the GIO Ausday 10K again in the Summer Down Under series. How's your training going?
It's going really good. Been on the rollers. Went down. There's a gravel path. So I've been down there into town a bit. So yeah, been pretty good and doing some strength work.
Excellent. Hey, we'll stay fit, and we can't wait to see what you achieve in the back half of the year. We got some visitors. There he is. G'day, mate. Excellent. Oh, hang on. Oh,
Hello.
g'day. Hello, random. G'day, buddy.
There's Patrick. And then
Hi,
James
Patrick.
is there.
I'm talking. Hello.
Great. Are we gonna be on TikTok or something here, or you
I'm
tell
just
me?
talking to my friends. They're really interested in what you guys do.
Good on you, champ.
Yeah,
Thanks,
right.
mate. All right. Hey, Angie, your training. How are you travelling?
Yeah, it's been isolation has been a good opportunity to work on a lot of my own stuff. So yeah, we set up some rollers at home, and it's been quite good actually for me to yeah, you know, sort of you readjust your training, and now that we're back out, it's actually worked quite well. So yeah, been good.
Excellent. It's good to see you looking so well. And Jake, finally for you, mate, you're looking well too. It's a great head of hair. I mean, I did have one, but it was 25 years ago. You look fit. Are you fit and you're healthy?
Yeah, we're just using this as a good opportunity to get a big block of kilometers in. So it's been good. Get some strength, some Ks, and yeah, it's all going well.
Excellent. Hey, well, guys, thank you for giving us your time, and our community love to see you looking so well. I've really enjoyed talking to you as well on our final edition of Rolling Conversations for the time being. We will come back to it at some stage, but we're going to have a bit of a rest now that we're playing sport again. It really was about keeping us connected whilst we weren't able to get together physically, and hopefully for everyone watching along online, it's played that role. It's also played a role for us to spend some time with you, Victoria, and with Angie and Jake as our athletes, and get to know you better. So we really appreciate you being part of Rolling Conversations this afternoon, and great to see you looking so well.
Thanks, Mick.
Cheers. Thanks.
All right. Cheers, guys. And thanks very much, everyone, for supporting the idea. And we'll be back at some stage, but we appreciate you being part of Rolling Conversations. Take care, everybody, and we'll be in touch soon.